Welcome back to Mean Streets here on Game Plus Network. Chris Meaney here with you. Week 1 of the NFL season wraps up this evening in Las Vegas. Oh, it should be an absolutely lit atmosphere. The Raiders taking on the Baltimore Ravens. They check in as road favorites here, -4.5. They opened up at -5.5 a couple weeks ago. A lot has happened to Baltimore since that opening line. The total is at 50.5. If you are indeed backing Las Vegas here tonight, +180 is the best I'm seeing on the money line using our free parlay calculator over at FTNBets.com, getting the best possible odds. Also, I highly encourage you checking out our free prop shop over at FTNBets.com if you are indeed into betting props. That way you don't have to shop around. You can see the best possible odds, and I've seen massive differences across, all over the different books on certain players. For example, Jonnu Smith was like plus money for 3 catches, and I believe on FanDuel, and then he was really juiced to the under, to the over, -135 for 3 grabs over on DK. Just as an example, you really see differences across certain books here. So I got a couple props for you, but I just wanted to plug those cool tools over at FTNBets.com that are absolutely free. So for this evening, I already bet Las Vegas a couple weeks ago at +5.5. I like them still at 4.5 and 4. I think this is a field goal game here today. I think that they keep things pretty close. I guess I'm a coward because I'm not picking them on the money line, but here's a couple reasons why I think that they can hang here tonight. And one, a lot has happened to Baltimore. Rashad Bateman was their top rookie wide receiver that they drafted. He's gone for weeks. Then they lost J.K. Dobbins. Then they lost Gus Edwards. Then they lost Justice Hill and Marcus Peters. They lost Edwards and Peters in 2 plays in practice over the past couple of days. And the Ravens have already talked about how emotional, draining that is to lose. And I'm certain that it is. But that's not really the reason. I feel actually worse about my pick considering what has happened. And that may feel weird, but they're just so well coached that, Harbaugh can get them up and motivated for a game. But I just think that this is going to be a tough game for them to play. Allegiant Stadium is going to be bumping. I fully believe that this is the home opener for Las Vegas. Yes, they played inside the stadium last year. They actually upset the Saints in their first home game last season, but I just think it's going to be lit. There were no fans last year. It's going to be loud in there. It's going to be a tough environment. We're going to hear 64,000 fans inside. Oh, I'm so jealous. I wish I was there. Are you kidding me? I got to go. I got to check out a Raiders game in Vegas. It's Vegas, baby. What? Let's go. I checked out a Golden Knights game last year, 2 years ago, and it was awesome. The atmosphere was electric, and I expect that to be the case here today. I know what you're thinking. The defense stinks. The defense is not great. But Gus Bradley was brought in here to give them an identity, and I think he can give them one. It's not going to be good enough to compete in the AFC. Not going to be good enough to compete in the AFC West. They just don't have the personnel. Bradley has brought in a couple of his former players. He knows what they have to offer. I just think that he's going to get them ready for this game, and he's going to give them an identity on defense, which they just did not have last season. And this offense can hang. I mentioned the upset last year against the Saints. They beat the Chiefs. Heck, they almost beat them twice. They can score points. They got a beast in Darren Waller. I don't know if Josh Jacobs is going to play. Last I saw, he's trending in the right direction. And if he doesn't play, Kenyon Drake is good enough to keep this game competitive. I think we'll see step forwards from the 2 young wide receivers in their sophomore year, and Henry Ruggs and Brian Edwards. I really do believe that. It won't take much for them to have career years here in year number 2. But John Brown was released, and Nelson Aguilar is no longer part of this squad. And Gruden and Mayock are hearing all the noise. What, you picked Ruggs in the first round? Let's use this guy. More on him in just a little bit. Derek Carr is underrated. He's underrated from a real-life standpoint. He's underrated from a fantasy standpoint. I think he's a good quarterback. He's always among the leaders in completion percentage. He's been top 15 multiple times in terms of fantasy. He got MVP votes one year when he had Amari Cooper and Michael Crabtree on his team. And Baltimore's going through some stuff. Like I said, they got Marcus Peters who's gone, so I think they can take advantage of a hole in the secondary. So this is what I'm thinking here for tonight. I got the 4.5. Like I said, I bet 5.5. I'm backing the Raiders here tonight to keep this close for a field goal game, and Darren Waller is going to help them get there. I expect 7+ grabs and hopefully 68 yards. You can get plus money at 6.5 on the over. I'm seeing juice to the over at 5.5 in certain spots, but he was just such a beast last season, averaging 6.6 catches per game on 9 targets, and towards the end of the season, my goodness, listen to these numbers. 43 catches and 654 yards in his final 5 games. That's like video game. It's not even. It's like rookie, Madden rookie, where the defense is not playing. The guys are not moving. It's dead controller. No AI. It's just done. That's it. Raiders are rolling. Waller's going up and down the field. And then there's no defense. 130 yards per game. The offense runs through him. Mark Andrews over 4.5 grabs. This is a number that he topped in 5 of his last 6 games. He went through a moment there in the season where him and Marquise Brown weren't getting a whole lot of run, but Baltimore dealt with some injuries, and COVID kind of ran through their squad. So for this one here tonight, I'm backing both of Lamar Jackson's top weapons. I think we could see the number get to 50, and Lamar's going to have to throw here a little bit. I don't expect to see a whole lot of Le'Veon Bell or Devontae Freeman. In fact, I wouldn't be shocked if they were just not part of this game at all here tonight, and that Latavius Murray and Tyson Williams is there. And who knows if, Latavius didn't look good in preseason. I like him overall, but this is a new offense he has to learn, and maybe Tyson Williams is, let's be honest, it's a nice story, and we're rooting for him, but multiple backs have had to go down for him to be able to get inside this role. Baltimore runs the ball more than anybody, and they run it really well. I think they're going to have to try to beat Las Vegas here through the air, and you can exploit the Raiders as well. And for just overall, and I almost called it Oakland. For Las Vegas, they ranked inside the top 10 in yards allowed to wide receivers, and Marquise Brown, like Andrews down the stretch, was getting involved in the offense a little bit more, 6 targets at least in 6 of his final 8 games. The big one here that you may wonder why I'm backing is Henry Ruggs, because he just wasn't used properly. As I mentioned earlier, they spent a high draft pick on him, and every other rookie wide receiver seems to be balling out, and every sophomore, hopefully Jerry Jeudy can come back pretty quickly. But Gruden's going to hear the noise here. He's been hearing the noise. Let's get this guy involved. I think they'll take a couple deep shots. 3 grabs and 35 yards is really all we need here. This is a guy who has a high ADOT, a deep threat guy last year, 17.4 ADOT attached to his NFL rookie season, which was number 1 among wide receivers with 40 targets. And they used him down the stretch. Again, this is like, I'm saying this with all these players, but I saw a trend towards the end of the season, in particular with Ruggs. At least 3 catches in 4 of his final 5 games and 5 of his final 7 contests. Henry Ruggs, let's get a deep shot there, but hopefully he gets, at least 4 or 5 targets here. Come on, let's go. I think this game will be fun. I think it'll be very entertaining. Enjoy Las Vegas football. They're going to put on a show here tonight. It should be awesome. Good luck. Hopefully the winners are indeed yours here, and we'll be back tomorrow on Mean Streets. Have a good one. Cheers.